work. It has 6 ammo, but the way the skill works is that it fires all of your ammunition every time you use it. So you cast it with 1, you cast it with 6. It's going to give you a variable amount of damage. You saw that we got 6 separate attacks because we had 6 ammo. So maximum DPS from the skill is going to be maximum ammo, makes sense. But you do have the opportunity to kind of press this button. And there is a trait that's going to give you a little bit of extra value for spending ammunition. So there might be opportunities where you just want to keep pressing 5, keep pressing 5, keep pressing 5 every 5 seconds as that comes off cooldown.
Jeez.
And that's going to synergize really well with Gunstinger. Here's the 4 skill. This is a little bit of mobility. It's pretty short dash. The 300
And it
range here is a
reloads
little
your
bit
gun.
misleading because that's more of the dash range, and you have the melee attack at the end here. So it's going to space about maybe like closer to 450 units in terms of how far away you need to be from your enemy to make sure you hit them.
But you can recharge 5
so
ammo.
It's also going to give a little bit of vulnerability, a nice Aegis on top of that, so a little bit of setup on your dash in, make sure you don't just get completely blown up, and also set up the next damage skills from the rest of your abilities. The important note here is that it restores ammunition to your Dragon's Roar. So if we fire off Dragon's Roar real quick, get into combat so that matters. Cast of that skill. You'll still get it from the second one, but you give up the big heal of the first cast in exchange.
See, that is what we talk about. We want something like elixir, right? That's a fun
there,
interaction. That's an
damage,
interesting interaction.
Maximize sustain. Just want to maximize sustain. You're probably going to fire this off, wait for it to go, sit around here 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. There we go. Then pop it off again.
That's time to take a drink.
We could probably take a drink.
Take a drink.
Charge Dragon Slash in that time. Pretty convenient. So that's going to maximize your healing.
I want to see the elite. He's hiding it. That's how disgusting it is, by the way.
Moving
He's literally
into
hiding
the
it,
utility skills.
Okay,
You have
he
bulletproof
can't even
barrier.
show it.
So this is kind of a, I mean, similar. We've seen like wall reflection in the past. This is a little bit
Oh,
different. because only
Warrior
it
finally has
off.
reflection.
And the little bonus on
It's an
top is that it's also going to be an
explosion.
explosion with a little bit of damage tacked on.
Boom.
So this is going to be useful in those big mobile fights.
That is a good
PvE.
skill.
Maybe
Now we got an
care about
Adina
projectiles
skill,
every once in a
boys.
while. The explosion is going to be a little bit of value for kind of upkeeping those traits that care about that.
Reflect.
And similarly,
Oh, it's a block.
just
It's a block. It's not
more
reflect.
damage
It's
if
a
you really
block.
feel the need. There's
It'll
probably
still
better
carry
warrior
it, Adina.
utilities
Yeah, that's
if
big
you
on
consider
Adina.
you care
Yeah, it's
about
huge
damage,
on
but
certain encounters.
here's the
Obviously,
option
World
if you
plus
really
World
want a
2.
bulletproof barrier. Moving on to electric fence. So this is another one of these skills that's kind of combo with itself, where we'll throw it out here. This is going to be a
Oh, are they all
kind
like
of
this, like
cripple
all
wall.
fields?
It's something that we've seen with like
kinda
temporal
interesting.
curtain on Mesmer Focus, and if you actually space this properly, it will hit stationary targets. More naturally, it's going to be when someone runs through this wall, they're going to become crippled. But if the target is already crippled, you're going to get the
that's got
immobilized.
no
So you can't
target.
focus
Oh,
off
that's
back to
really
back.
good.
Why does that have no target cap?
Kind of get that cripple, and then fire it immediately
'Cause
again.
it's just
get
like
that
Mesmer
immobilized.
Curtain.
A little bit less optimal. Ideally, you're going to
Infinite
want to
target
get the
mode
cripple
for
from
World
some of your
versus
other
World.
sources, maybe from Throw Axe, maybe from Savage Leap, because then you're
I mean,
going
they
to
have to already be crippled.
immobilize into immobilize from these 2 charges here, instead of having
Pretty
to
good.
waste one
Pretty
just to
good.
cripple. But a pretty decent crowd control option there. Then next up we have Flow Stabilizer. So this is the first skill that we're seeing that's going to increase your flow rate. We'll see a bit more in the traits once we get there. Basically, this is just going to give you increased positive flow, which is a useful thing to have for this character.
So you can
because
juice up
do
quicker,
care
basically,
about
to get to your...
flow as you no longer
your
get
Omega
adrenaline
gun.
from hitting
It's a
enemies.
pretty long duration stab.
So here, baseline, this is going to give me 2 stacks of the buff.
It does take you a while to get
It's
that
also going to give a
flow,
little
right,
bit of
as you can
stability, but
see.
if you already have stability, it's going to give you a bonus stack. So again, this is an option to kind of fire these off back to back. Already have stability, fire this off again, I get 3 stacks from the next one. This actually stacks up to about 25. You're probably not going to be able to cheat like me when you're on live servers. If you can, that's not a good thing.
Oh my God.
But again, ideally, you're going to want to get stability from a different source, whether it's your teammate gives you stab or you maybe take balance
And you
stance,
do-
because
yeah,
that's
you
going
get
to allow
mega
you to
flow.
use both charges for the maximum value, but you do have the option to kind of chain these together if you feel the need to.
Oh, here we go. Oh, wait, no,
Finally, we're
not
going to
yet.
get into the stun break. This is the only utility skill that is not a lot of skills in the gun saber. Actually, like even
30-second cooldown,
shouts,
half a second
Oh,
cooldown.
Axe
Dragon's
3.
Roar, all
Nice.
of these skills use ammo, and so what Tactical Reload says is any of these skills that are not a full ammo are
Okay.
going to get +1 ammo. And so that is
Will that go
kind of
above the
absurd
cap?
because, I mean, we just ran through, obviously you could just have
Probably
a
not.
rifle too, which has a bunch of ammo skills. That is potentially a lot of buttons getting essentially a full
Renewed
charge
focus,
back
but it's
with
every
a
skill
single
you have.
skill on it. Only
I like
30-second
that.
cooldown.
That's
This is
big,
a bit
you know?
higher in
That's a good
competitive
skill.
because
That's
this
a good
is
skill.
pretty scary amount of effectively cooldown reduction to have on a single
30
instance.
seconds. There might be a
This is
trait
really
to
going
reduce
enable-
that
we
too,
saw
by the way,
A
guys.
bit of longer cooldowns here in the Gunsaber kit, like here's 25, 35, 40 even, 40. But that is because tactical reload exists as kind of this option
Oh,
to
CMC
chain all
balanced
these
it.
skills together, use up all my ammunition.
All right, it
Pants
is
and
catalyst
downstate.
time. Indigo, yeah. I hear it's near and dear to your heart.
It's near and dear to my heart.
So tell us about the catalyst.
Absolutely. So for our Ellie mains out there, and I know we've got Ruby, we've got a Cal. I'm not. I'm a Mesmer main.
I don't
Mesmer,
understand. How do you do it?
It's self-punishment or something.
I'm a
like that.
garbage mesmer.
But Ellie was my very first class that I played in Guild Wars 2 back when I started the game in college. So it is very near and dear to
Taylor's
my
Aura's
heart.
time. Leave the spec when it gets nerfed.
More importantly, Catalysts kind of go back into that theme of having a little bit of an ancient sort of history to them. They were casters from an era bygone, ancient Cantha. Similar to the Willbender, they were protectors of the nation, but not necessarily the throne directly. They were warriors, soldiers. But more importantly, the biggest part of this class is that they utilize this really advanced technology called a sphere. And in modern days
Called
in
a
Cantha,
sphere.
that
That's
sphere
advanced?
has been a little bit
That's advanced
upgraded
technology, a
into what we
sphere.
call a jade tech sphere or a jade sphere. And now spheres are conduits to the elementalist immense
It's
power.
gyros, guys.
And they kind of function
It's spheres,
similarly
Depot. What do you
to
mean
a
gyros?
engineer's gyro, and that you kind of summon
don't
it
mind.
and it floats around a little
New
bit. There's all
playable
sorts of
race.
fun
Play
aspects to
as
do
a
with that.
sphere.
But when I approached writing it, I kind of went with this sort of theme of like a traditional wizard, or so to say.
I was hoping it'd be like
summon
Greek
imagery
gyros.
from
They're delicious.
Elements and environments from all over Tyria, and they imbue that magic into the sphere. And that,
Okay.
and as you channel each of the main elements, you'll see imagery of creatures that are known in Cantha. That's somewhat of an homage to the celestial beings.
Animals.
And I'm excited for Cal to get into this one. And this was also the first thing that I got to work on with Cal once joining the studio.
Oh.
And Cal's a combat design rock star, so I'm excited to
Here we go.
pick his main
CMC, unleash.
Yay.
Here we
All right, we're
go.
hopping into the catalyst. Notably,
What is
these
that?
are
There's an
definitely
F5.
not the celestial creatures. We definitely saw a lot of feedback on the Reddit. I mean, clearly we have like
F5
Zakir
leaked.
and the Salt
There's
Spray,
more
the
water
Turtle,
has
the
appeared, by the
Phoenix.
way. Dude, seriously,
These
more
are-
water is there now.
Yes, those
I'm
are
not
the
joking.
creature
Dude, I shit you not.
shapes
There's
that
way more
are the
water
same
bottles.
as celestial beings, but that wouldn't really make any sense to conjure those as like kind of elemental manifestations. So these are just more, I mean, elemental manifestations.
homage.
Wait, does it?
to
That-
It's
that.
got
definitely a
14k
homage, kind of
HP,
a
so maybe
nod
no
to,
extra vitality. Maybe it
Knock
has
the
some extra
Quarter from
vitality.
Guild Wars 1.
He's probably wearing
So, hopping into
weird
it,
armor.
For some
Yeah.
reason, we decided to give elementals a hammer. 20 skills. We have a lot to get through here. We're going to try to speed up a
20
little bit and talk
skills,
really, really,
yeah.
really fast. Maybe not that fast, but we'll start with the refreshing mechanic before we get into the hammer.
So there is
Refreshing
fucking
weapons.
range.
This is giving me access
Oh
to
my
energy.
god. I am
All the
fucking
melee
loving it.
believers
Bar
in
and target up here
shambles.
above the F5 skill. Very similar to how Warrior Adrenaline works, where hit enemies get energy. And that's going to enable you to deploy, I'm just going to cheat at this point, deploy the Jade Sphere.
We
And this is gonna do- this is gonna
melee. We
create-
wanted ranged.
Essentially what is a spell area on the ground. That the primary goal here is that it's going to be, see I'm building up might, this is a fire field. If I cast it on an enemy, this is actually also going to do a little bit of damage. In competitive modes, this damage pulse is very, very low. It's actually using the 0.01 multiplier.
Yeah, nice baby rage,
because
everyone.
the primary value of the skill is the boons, it is the combo field, but that was not
that hits a
quite
lot.
up
That
to
lasts
what
Oh my
was
forever.
god.
supposed to be.
Why?
And
What is
you
this
can see
field?
the damage pulse on there. And just
It's like
really,
F5
really,
in
really low
fire.
damage, so it
Yeah.
didn't create too much of a problem.
It's
So
like
the
it doesn't
cool
hit as
thing
hard
with
as
this
lava font, but
essentially
it lasts,
swap
man.
with your element. I'm in fire attunement.
That's
I
gonna be
summon
fun
the
in
fire-
PvP.
Fire
Put that on the point, you know?
Swap the water.
No,
Now
he
I
said
can